Hello, Benchwarmers, and welcome back to another weekly matchup Misfits Week 11 edition pick'ems. So, one thing to note is that the Packer game was flexed from noon to 3:30 my Central Time. I guess I should go off of Eastern Time because that's what this sheet is. And that's about the only thing that's really changed, I think. Some of the things Jets Chargers was not usual. It was not normally this week. I'm not sure what game was switched with that. Don't remember, but it was because of COVID a couple weeks ago. I remember that much. So, Seattle, Cardinals, Arizona, Seahawks. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go either way. Seahawks are on a 3-game losing streak, starting with the Arizona Cardinals. Went Cardinals, Bills, Rams, all losses. And obviously they played the Cardinals, and they play the Rams again. So, I'm going to say Seattle breaks that streak. It was a very close game before. Obviously, I'm going to put Arizona right there as my first kind of squeeze in kind of words are hard. But it's going to be a close game. Again, Russell Wilson seems to have come down to earth a little bit. And if he doesn't play like a god, they lose because their defense is terrible and they don't really have a run game. Arizona could definitely win this game again. Just they're riding the high of last week. DeAndre Hopkins winning it with the hate that they're calling it the Hail Murray. That's cringy as hell to me, but I understand. Being a Packer fan, I understand with the Hail Rodgers, which doesn't even work. I would probably do the same thing with Kyler Murray's name, so I'm being hypocritical, but it's still cringy. So, I'm going to say Seattle had enough. Finally breaks that streak, goes 7-3. Bengals and Washington. I'm going to go Bengals. Sure, Washington could win, but I don't know. I don't trust them enough to put it as yellow. Alex Smith, he's the quarterback now, and he's a good quarterback, and he definitely could win it, but he wants to play it safe. I think they'll play him safe, and that playing it safe will give Cincinnati the win. Falcons and Saints. It's the Saints. Could be closer than you think because Drew Brees out with 5 broken ribs, 3 on the right, 2 on the left, both broken in separate weeks, and a collapsed lung. So it's famous Jameis time. Please don't make Taysom Hill the starter. He's a gadget guy, not a quarterback. Play Jameis Winston. I want to see him, how far he's come. I want to see Jameis Winston. Steelers, Jaguars. Rematch of the 2018 divisional round. Not even close. But I would laugh so hard if Jake Luton coming up, big kid, beating Pittsburgh. That would be fantastic. That would be hilarious, but it ain't happening. Patriots, Houston. I'm gonna go with Texans. I'm going to make it go either way, because obviously New England could win. How did they beat the Ravens? Weather had a big part of it, but how do you almost lose to the Jets and then beat the Ravens? I don't get that. Now, I know the Ravens aren't as dominant as they were last year, because defenses figured out Lamar Jackson, but still, come on. How do you almost lose to the Jets and then beat the Ravens? It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, any given week, I guess. Eagles, Browns, gonna be Browns. Eagles just aren't good enough this year. Browns are good. 6-3. Hey, Raiders, Dolphins, and Browns. 6-3. That's pretty awesome to me, actually. I'm rooting for all those teams. I'm really feeling the Dolphins, especially. I don't know why. Lions, Panthers. I'm going to say Panthers, but the Lions could win. I'm rooting 100% for the Panthers because I like the Panthers. Uh, Christian McCaffrey will not play, so if you got Mike Davis, play him. Detroit, DeAndre Swift, he went off a little bit last week, and he could do it again. But I think Carolina's offense is just a little bit better than the Lions' offense. So, yeah, it's a battle of the big cats. Titans, Ravens, tough one. I'm going to go with the Titans. I'm not even going to put Ravens as yellow, but they could win. But I'm really feeling the Titans on this one. I just don't trust. I guess I kind of know. I don't really trust Baltimore right now. Titans, they're kind of fighting for the spot for the top of the division with the Colts. Ravens are pretty much out of that running, especially with the tear that the Steelers are on. So I don't know. I don't think they're going to be more laxed or anything, but I'm not feeling the Ravens lately. It feels like they've been slacking, especially compared to last year. What a step down. Jets Chargers, gonna go Chargers. I will never pick the Jets to win, not even once. Even if they win a game, it's not gonna convince me that they can win anymore. I Justin Herbert cut his hair. I don't know. Maybe that's gonna make them win. His hair was bad luck or something. I have no idea, but he looks like a 14-year-old boy on steroids. Chargers offense, I think Austin Eckler is supposed to come back. I'm not 100% on that, but I think he's supposed to come back this week. If not this week, he's definitely coming back next week. And pick him up in fantasy if he's a free agent, if people dropped him. I don't think he'll have a prominent role this game if he does play. But the week after, I think he will. But the Chargers still, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Mark Williams, the other receiver. So I feel so bad all saying that because he's a good receiver and he deserves credit. I just can't remember his name. I'm sorry. And then Ballage. I know it's not Ballage, but that's how I'm pronouncing his name because he balled out. Miami, Dolphins, Denver, Broncos. It's the Dolphins, and it's surprisingly not close. Dolphins, like I said before, 6-3. It's Tua time, and it shows 3-0, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Dolphins defense is also pretty good. I actually picked the Dolphins defense up in fantasy, especially because the next 3 weeks, I can't remember the third one, but they play obviously the Broncos, then they play the Jets, and I can't remember that third week. But I know it's a badish kind of team, if not just flat out bad. Miami's legit. They could take with the way the Bills have stumbled a little bit. Dolphins could steal that division, and that would be hilarious because then the Bills still wouldn't have won the division since 1995. Cowboys, Vikings. Dalvin Cook will eat your team alive, Dallas. There's nothing else I can say. Packers, Colts. Oh. Packers kind of frustrated me against the Jaguars. But David Bakhtiari, left tackle, arguably the best left tackle in the league. Got paid. That's good. This is definitely could go either way. But the Colts they're a good matchup against the Packers. Packers basically survived. I'm going to say the Colts. I feel bad saying that. Packers obviously could win this. But Nyheim Hines, he's probably going to have a good game. Phillip Rivers last year was horrible, and he still shredded us. Whether it was him or Austin Eckler, I can't really remember. Blank that game from my memory. But still, Phillip Rivers here again. Still, he's playing on and off good. He's kind of like a light switch. I'm hoping we get off Phillip Rivers. And Colts defense is really good. Devontae Adams had a bad week. That's not Devontae Adams every week, and I'm not expecting that to be Devontae Adams this week. I'm expecting Devontae Adams this week. Marquez Valdes-Scantling had 2 what seems to be breakout games. And if he breaks out as that deep threat for the Packers, wow. And Allen Lazard, the thought to be number 2 wide receiver, comes off IR, has been practicing for 3 weeks, might be 2 weeks back. A.J. Dillon, back. Not that he's had too much of a prominent role, but Packers offense, it's going to open up quite a bit having even just Allen Lazard back. But having 3 running backs and 3 solid wide receiver targets for Aaron Rodgers, it's going to be hard to stop that offense. But the Colts defense could definitely do it. Sorry I've talked too much about this game. I'm invested too much into it. Chiefs, Raiders. Raiders giving the Chiefs their only loss this year. If it wasn't for the Raiders' upset, Chiefs would be undefeated just like the Steelers. I wish the Steelers and the Chiefs played each other this year, but I hope it happens in the playoffs at the very least. I will be rooting for the Raiders because underdogs, but it's going to be Chiefs. But because they won the last time, I have to put them as possible. Like, they could definitely win again. It's obviously they could. They did it before. They beat the Saints. They beat the Chiefs. This is the Raiders that John Gruden's been building for. This is his 3rd year now, I think? Maybe 4th. I think next year the Raiders are real contenders. This year, they're not necessarily pretenders, but they're not quite Super Bowl contenders. Next year, depending on how they do this offseason, they could be. They could be scary. Rams and Buccaneers. This is going to be a good Monday night game. I'm going to say it's the Rams. Rams have been doing really well. Tampa Bay has been kind of on and off, and they had a slow start against the Panthers. If you have that kind of start against the Rams, I don't think you're coming back as easily. They have a much better defense than the Panthers. It's going to be hard because Tampa's got a good run game, decent pass game. Rams have decent run game, good pass game, surprisingly, with Jared Goff. Both teams have solid defenses. It's going to be a good matchup, I think. I hope. But obviously, I got to put Tampa Bay. These teams they seem fairly equal. It's kind of like a rematch of Super Bowl 53. Except it's not the Patriots, but it's still Jared Goff versus Tom Brady. This could be Jared Goff's semi-revenge. So, those are my picks for Week 11. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will